जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to the 18th day Bhagavad Gita session. So we are in the last chapter of the Bhakti Yoga, that is the 12th chapter. The middle 6 chapters is dedicated. I mean, Krishna talks about pure devotional service. So we saw yesterday about the Vishwarupa and how the chapter ends in the sense Krishna talks that if one has to know about him, then one has to serve Krishna. Mat karma kran, mat paramo, mat bhakta. And he says everything do for me. And further now in this chapter we will see what Krishna is talking about. The chapter is called devotional service. Actually, there are these two chapters in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12 and chapter 15, which are the shortest. In the sense, they have only 20 shlokas. So, if we want to read a quick chapter of Bhagavad Gita, uh, any of these chapters can be chosen. Yeah, because they have only 20 shlokas. So let me share the PPT. So visible, I believe, for everybody. Okay. So here, chapter 12, here actually what we see is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, and Gadadhar Pandit. Like yesterday, we just touched upon Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Sri Krishna himself, and he's come with his associates to spread this message of devotion. So, a quick overview of the chapter. Okay. In the 20 shlokas, 3 sections are there. Actually, there is this terminology impersonalism, or that comes several times. What is impersonal? The aspect of impersonalism. Many of us understand that the Lord is great, right? And then we have this concept of him being the superpower, or he's light. That's how. But then, so this aspect of being the energy, super energy, and him being the light is true. Whereas it is an impersonal aspect. What do we mean by impersonal aspect? That if we have to have reciprocation with anybody, when there has to be a person, right? Can we have reciprocation with energy or light? I mean, if there is a person, then the reciprocation can happen. Here in this chapter, 12th chapter, the chapter starts with question by Arjuna, right? here at the conclusion of the 11th chapter, Arjuna sees Krishna's two-handed form. And then after he sees this two-handed form, he starts the next this thing with the question. So first 7 shlokas talks about bhakti over impersonalism, or the personal worshipping the personal form over the impersonal aspect. And 8 to 12 is progressive stages of devotion. And 13 to 20 is qualities that endear one to Krishna. What type of person Krishna would like, who like him the most? Why does he like him the most, right? So the first, the main question here is, Arjuna Vacha, he says, which is considered more proper? One who is engaged in your devotional service, or one who worships the impersonal Brahman or the unmanifested? Say devotional service, sir, if I have to serve somebody, like I said, there has to be the person who is served, the person who is serving, and the process. So, like here, if any of you are seeing the slideshow, this light that is seen is also power of Krishna, is also a aspect of Krishna. But what can we serve this light? How can we serve this light? Can we clothe this light? Can we bathe this light? Or can we offer anything to this light? Can we worship? Maybe worship a little, but then otherwise there is no reciprocation that can happen. So there are two kinds of devotees. One who believe that this impersonal aspect of Krishna is higher than the personal aspect. And so Arjuna is asking, which is considered to be more perfect? The people who are worshipping in your personal form, who Abhishek, bathe in the sense, we call it as Abhishekam, and then Naivedya, offering bhoga, offering, then, changing dresses every day, then worshipping him. And then, in fact, if you see in many temples, they, before the main Mangalarati, there are some dance, song, the Vedas are sung, if we have noticed, during this Kalyanotsav or any other major festival times, all this is done. So, with that question, Arjuna is asking, two types of transcendentalists is what is trying to give a little more detail here. In this slide, the last shloka of 6th chapter. Okay, who is the best among yogis? Yoginam api sarveshan matkate antaratmanah. So there Krishna says, who is a yogi? Now, if we just for a second think back, up until now, when we thought, when the word yogi came, right? What came to our mind? Somebody in the Himalayas with minimum dress and then long beard. He's always meditating, right? Yes, he's also a yogi. No doubt about that. But Krishna says, who is the best among such yogis, right? And that too, it's a conclusion of the Dhyana Yoga. The 6th chapter is Dhyana Yoga. So there Krishna says, one who always, and of all the yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion, he says. Who always thinks of me, who meditates on me, worships me. That is what he's saying. So, anyone who thinks of Krishna, there Krishna doesn't talk that you think of my effulgence or me as a light. He says, think of me in a personal way. So, based on that, also then Krishna is answering Arjuna's first question in the 12th chapter. What is his question? So Krishna, he says, my Bhagavan Vacha, Maya Veshyamano Ema Nitya Yukta Upase Shraddhaya Paryopetas Teme Yukta Tamataha. He whose mind is fixed on my personal form, always engaged in worshipping me with great transcendental faith, is considered to be considered by me to be the most perfect. Right? So actually the words Krishna is using, mom twice. What is mom? I mean, me. He's referring to himself, right? And yukta tamaha, I mean, like tamaha, he's using superlative, and with faith, shraddhaya, right? With transcendental faith, one who worships my personal form is superior compared to one who is worshipping the impersonal aspect, is what Krishna is saying. Now, why he's saying this? Is it that the people, the transcendentalists who are impersonalist, or who are believe in the impersonal aspect of the Lord, is there no use of that? So that question he answers in the next two shlokas, right? He says, but those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of senses and the all-pervading, inconceivable, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in welfare of all at last achieve me. So he's not rejecting the aspect that people who are worshipping his impersonal form, impersonal aspect, that they will achieve me. Right? But what, see, by performing impersonal worship of, or meditating on the impersonal aspect, what is it that they what are all the things that they have to do? See, first of all, the all pervading, right? Then the next aspect is inconceivable. Then beyond the senses, and what does the mind fix upon, right? Where can the mind be fixed upon when we are thinking of the impersonal aspect, right? So it is actually very difficult. It's like, if you have to take a material example, it is very difficult to create a vacuum, right? If you have to create a vacuum in a glass or in any container, then what do they do? Usually fill it with some other kind of, I mean, water, or some gas, to create a vacuum. And then after that, it is more difficult to maintain that vacuum, isn't it? Even on small, this thing, you'll again find the vacuum aspect not being there. So, in the same way, the impersonal, worshipping the impersonal aspect is, there is nothing positive about it, no positive conception. It is all, this material world is difficult. Then if you engage in your senses in all this, then you will be entangled. It's all neti in the sense, this is not good, not good, not good. But then actually our minds don't work easily like this, isn't it? I mean, we need some positive engagement also. Okay, this is not good, all right. But then where do I engage my, because life is there, energy is there, enthusiasm is there. Okay, just don't do anything is not the solution. So that is one aspect, difficult aspect of worshipping the impersonal aspect of the Lord. So actually in the fifth shloka, the next shloka, here it says, he's unmanifested beyond sense perception, all that we spoke about. right? In the fifth shloka, he says, Klesho adhikaratastesham. It is for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of Supreme. Advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Now, there is a word here called embodied. What do we mean by embodied? By now, we are now in the 12th chapter. At least we have this small concept that we are not bodies, but we are the soul, right? All of us have at least a small concept of that or small understanding of that. When the soul is trapped, embodied means being engaged in something. So the soul is now is trapped in this body, so it is called embodied. The soul now, our soul is called embodied. So here Krishna is saying to make progress in that discipline is always difficult for us embodied soul. So he says, why is it difficult? Because as it is, we are in the illusion that that we are the body. And if we think back a little on in the sixth chapter, Arjuna says how difficult it is to control the mind. He says, I can control the wind, but not the mind. And now we are trying to focus the mind on something inconceivable, which is not manifested, and then something abstract, right? Okay, we maybe for some time we may be able to focus, or maybe for a certain period, 1 month. Even if we take 1 month is a big thing to focus something on an abstract thing. But then and then make progress in spiritual path, focusing our mind on something abstract. So Krishna himself is saying that focusing on it is very difficult in this path, although the goal will be reached, but it is very difficult. So first of all, with Arjuna's question, Krishna first says, as per his opinion, that worshipping the personal form. See, why is the worshipping the personal form more easily relatable or more easy to understand? See, it's our day-to-day activity. We meet people, we reciprocate with people, right? So when you have a deity of the Lord, right? That is also, there is a figure there, there is a deity, and then it becomes easier to continue our devotional service, or it is more relatable, right? Something very abstract, it is difficult. And it's really not easy because Krishna himself has said it. So then what he says, here it's given in terms of practice, nirguna, without any qualities. What is the Brahman aspect is without any qualities. Saguna is with form. The Brahman is the impersonal form of the Lord, and Bhagavan is the personal form of the Lord. So, can you imagine if we are saying meditate on somebody or something which has no qualities? To say itself is so difficult, and how are we going to meditate, right? So, the Bhagavan feature or the personal form has many qualities. Then it is inconceivable. The Brahman, the impersonal form, has inconceivable. The Bhagavan also is inconceivable potencies. But then, even though it has inconceivable potencies, we can still sometimes, we can see the his supreme potency. Like we all of us know the, say for example, the Kaliya pastime, right? It is an amazing pastime because the small boy is dancing on the thousand-headed Kaliya, right? So even though it is inconceivable, but then we are able to perceive the inconceivableness in that. Whereas in the Brahman aspect, in the impersonal aspect, we will not be able to perceive it. Then next, he's all pervading. The impersonal form, he's all pervading. So he is all pervading, even Bhagavan, the personal form also. The Lord is all pervading, whether he is in the impersonal form or the personal form. But how is he all pervading? He's a super soul. I mean, he's as Paramatma with the Atma as Paramatma. He's there along with every living entity. Although he's pervading, still we are able to relate that as soul. He's there. Then he is unchanging, fixed, and immovable. Okay. Yeah, this is common to both. He's unchanging because he doesn't have a body like ours, which is perishable. He's fixed. He's fixed in the sense, when we are subjected to modes of nature, and then based on the situations, we change. Right? So the Lord is not affected by any of these modes of nature. So he is always fixed. And what does it mean by immovable? That means he doesn't move? No. He's immovable he's drida, and he's fixed on his whatever he has to do. So it doesn't mean the literal sense that he does not move. And that's not what is here. So then the impersonal aspect cannot perceive any opulence because of lack of activity, right? You see, actually, even if we think back, anytime when we want to go for a vacation, right? Say we have had a hectic uh, mm, job, and people generally tend to take vacation, right? If we just observe ourselves, when we go for vacation, it's good, it's nice for 1 day, maybe 2 days, 3 days, because we wanted to relax. But the third day, we are not into our regular activity, waking up and doing our work. Everything is done there. Food is there, and then you're just going out for recreation, right? Maybe this trekking and all that. If that is there, then there is some activity. But just imagine if we have no activity, but we have to just relax without any activity. The third day, actually, we are looking forward to do something, right? How many of us agree to this? The third and fourth day, without any activity, it is very difficult to actually keep ourselves sane also. I mean, in the sense, keep ourselves happy or peaceful. With no activity, it is very difficult. So, the effulgent Brahman, the impersonal aspect, actually has no activity. Whereas in the personal form, there is lot of activity. The Lord also does lot of activity, and for the Lord, the devotees also do a lot of activity. And because of the complexity that is involved in worshipping the impersonal form, there is a risk of not realizing the absolute truth. But in the personal form aspect or personal form of the Lord, success is guaranteed as nothing is lost. Because even if we don't mm, reach the goal in 2 point, in second chapter, 40th shloka, Krishna says, Neha Bikramana Shosti, Pratyavayo na vidyate, Swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato vayat. He says, even if you have done little devotional service, that is eternally there in our account. Unlike our bank accounts or any other account, eternally there. And after that, we may not have been able to pursue our bhakti path. When we restart it, we don't start from zero. We will start from where we have stopped, right? So that's how success is guaranteed. Okay, and then it also says, may realize the eternal Satchit and Ananda aspect in his original nature in the partial form. But then in the worshipping the Lord in the deity form, or in the as a personal aspect, uh, all this, the knowledge is complete. Complete in the sense, to extent our surrender, the Lord reveals it. So, some quick comparison about what it means to worship the Brahman and why it is difficult. Basically, if we have to summarize, and which I said earlier also, it is very abstract to worship the impersonal aspect of the Lord. Start trying to meditate on nothing, trying to empty the mind and meditate on nothing is a very Herculean task. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it is very Herculean task for general mass of people. Okay. So after explaining that, then he says, what happens to one who worships him without deviation, his personal form. If you're seeing the slides, we see in the sea, there is a person who is drowning, right? And then it is actually impossible, literally impossible for that person to swim across the sea and, save himself. So is one who worships with all his activities unto me. Krishna is saying in this sixth and seventh shloka. Krishna is saying that whose mind is fixed on me, I uplift them from this ocean of birth and death. See, this samsara sagara, it is called, trying to elevate ourselves, or trying to get ourselves out of this ocean of birth and death, but just by ourselves is like trying to reach the shore or the beach by our own endeavor, trying to swim across and go to the shore, which is an impossible task. But what is the guarantee? I mean, worshipping the Lord, he says, I will tejaham samudharta mutyu samsara sagarat. I will help you in crossing this samsara sagara, is what Krishna is saying. So this is the first section. Now the next section actually is a very hope-giving and a very interesting section. Hope-giving in the sense, like especially nowadays, everybody is expected to achieve 100%. I mean, whether it is studies or whether it is an office, or everybody is looking for perfection. Otherwise, one is a misfit in this society, is kind of the trend that is going on here. Actually, it is very stressful, right? Because just a few decades ago, every person who scored 100% or was perfect, or person who scored 60%, everybody were accepted and everybody had their role to play and move on with life. But now, I mean, the whole scenario is that everybody has to score 99.9%, and then only they are get jobs, and they are accepted in the society, they are looked upon, and then they have to earn so much. That is what is the scenario. But in this section from 8 to 12, actually Krishna starts with 100%. He says, what one should do to achieve him, 100%. And from there, actually till the 12th shloka, from 8th shloka to 12th shloka, he actually lowers the standard in the sense, he says, if you're not able to do this, even it's okay. But if you're able to do this, then what will happen? He actually is saying, even if you do this, still you will come to me. So it is a very, very hope-giving section actually, right? And first in the 8th shloka, he says, what does he say? Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality, but engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Yesterday, I think I made a statement, let's do an exercise. Any of you tried? Like after the class till now, say for 24 hours, were we able to think of Krishna for 24 hours? Is there anybody? It'll be nice to know. Did anybody try? Did anybody remember and try? Or was anybody able to do that?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, I remembered Krishna while having water and while preparing meal.
Huh. Okay, but the
Yes,
question
Mataji.
is 24 hours. I mean,
All the
there was
24
no.
hours, but all other activities we are doing also, no, as I'm tying flowers for the God, then while cooking, I keep chanting also. And of course, without count, I will be chanting. Then after that, of course, right from the time I get up in the morning, I touch the ground, Bhumata, and that time also Krishna only. All the time it is only Krishna. But all 24 hours, fully every minute, I won't say, but throughout every activity, then everything is fine. Krishna Arpanam, Krishna Arpanam, Krishna Arpanam. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah, in
Hare
24
Krishna.
hours we slept also for 8 hours.
Yes, yes.
So
No,
did we
6 hours
dream?
I
Did we
slept.
slept? So did we think of Krishna and during that time? We don't know.
No, while going to sleep, I also without by
Mataji, 24 hours is possible in this Kali Yuga. 24 hours, remembering 24 hours Krishna, is it possible at this age?
Otherwise, you think then what Krishna is saying is false here?
No, Mataji. But then
It is possible. Only we
It's
have
not
to.
Yeah, because
possible
this,
for it doesn't become false just because I cannot do it.
Yes,
It is
Mataji, correct.
possible.
yes, Mataji. Right.
Okay, doesn't
It is
become false
possible. Only
because
we have to make
anyway.
an effort.
Okay,
But I'm
okay.
grateful. At
Thank
least
you.
this
Hare
much I'm
Krishna.
thinking of him. That's
Yeah.
that
Okay,
he
thank
only
you.
is giving the mind to do it. No.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you,
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Okay, yeah. So on a general note, 24 hours. I mean, that is what this 8th shloka says, right? So it says 100%. Just fix your mind on it. Okay. Then from there, benefit of performing devotional service. Devotional service is, you wake up and then you offer, like that Mataji shared. She thinks of Krishna as soon as she woke up, then offered something for Krishna, made garland for Krishna, cooked for Krishna, everything for Krishna, right? So that is how devotional service is easy to think of Krishna most of the times. Now, next shloka, he says, if you are not able to do that, a winner of wealth. See, the address Krishna gives also is very interesting. He says, Dhananjaya. What does Dhananjaya? I mean, it is of course addressing Krishna, Arjuna, one who has conquered wealth. Now, what is the supreme wealth? Right? Any supreme wealth is Krishna consciousness. So he says, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix up mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, you will develop a desire to attain me. Right? So he says, okay, if you're not 100%, do this. You follow the regulative principles. I mean, whatever rules and regulations you follow, then what will happen? You will come to that aspect of that you want to attain me. Then next, he says, if you cannot perform this also, follow the regulative principles. I mean, there are certain things, you must not eat this, you must not do this, you must. It's not easy for everybody. In case you are not able to do that also, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage, he says. See, from 100, I mean, I'm just giving figures. It need not necessarily be 80 and 70%, just for us to understand. So he says, if you cannot you follow the regulative principles, you are doing work, you work for me. Right? Work for means, in the sense, does it mean that all of us have to go to the temple only and work? No. If whatever you're working, some part of it, you can offer it to the temple. It can be money, not necessarily money. There are many temples when they, they are building the temples, they open it up and then devotees come and build also. They lay bricks or some labor, not necessarily money. Okay. So by doing that also, you will come to the perfect stage. You see, the perfect stage, right? And that is what he's saying in 10. Work for Krishna. Then he says, if you are unable to work in this consciousness, that I'm doing this job, because now, what is our consciousness? I'm working. I have to enjoy the fruits. I mean, I'm working. It is mine, right? So if you are not able to do this, then he says, try giving up the results of all your work and try to be self-situated. Yatatmavan, Atmavan, like, what is Bhagavan, what is Dhanavan. Dhanavan, Bhagyavan means one who possesses money. So be Atmavan. What is that? You work in that consciousness and give up the results of all your work. Give up in the sense, not at I did A. If I think A plus B should be C, it can be F as per Krishna. So don't be attached to C. You give it up and then just be situated in the self. So this is much lower, right? Then next he says, if you are not able to do even that, right? If you can't practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge, which is what we are trying to do here. We are trying to cultivate knowledge. Premalata Mataji, kindly mute, please. There's some noise. You cultivate knowledge. Then if knowledge, better than knowledge is meditation, then better than meditation is renunciation of fruits. And better than renunciation, for when you renounce the fruits of the action, one attains peace, right? He says, at least do this. Now, if this is also not possible, right? I mean, like it's like, if we have to give an example that we have to understand. Now, somebody say, I have fallen into a well, right? And then there is a pulley, or where there is a rope there. Now, if that pulley, the rope is there, then I have to catch the rope and then I have to climb up, which can be difficult because I might have hurt myself, and then I see, that is the impersonal aspect. If our endeavor is more. But then instead of that, if there is a person there, okay, what will that person do? I mean, I shout out, you need to lower it a little more. I'm tired. I'm not able to hold the rope, or I'm not able to haul myself and all that. So you see, the personal aspect also we can understand by this. So actually reaching Krishna, just we have to only hold the rope when we have fallen into a well. The pulling up Krishna does. Right? Pulling up, Krishna does in various ways. He does it directly, or he does it to his devotees, various ways. So, I mean, that is how he's showing, if you are not able to haul up yourself, all by yourself. I mean, never it is that we can do it by ourselves. But, maybe some people's endeavor is more, some people's is less, even it's still okay. He says, do this, do this, do this, but ultimately you will come to me. That is what he's trying to say here. So, the progressive stage, 12.8, he says, completely fix your mind on me, follow regulative principles, then work for Krishna, and then otherwise, renounce, cultivate knowledge and meditation. So through all this, I mean, this is the lowest stage, it says, I mean, the least stage. But still, even in the least stage, you will come to me. It's like this, we all have attended school and exams. Krishna's is the only school where you have to just attend, you will get 100 marks. Whereas in the regular school, we have to write tons and tons of paper, and getting 100 marks is not guaranteed. Okay, you have to, like yesterday I said, you go one step, he comes 10 steps, right? So that is how merciful the Lord is. Somehow he sees that one of the Atma is coming, I mean, Jivatma is trying to come towards him, then he goes out of his way to make all ways to make that person to go towards him, right? So in that sense, this from 8 to 12, it is very, very hope giving. And it is very what is the word I can give? Yeah, hope giving, that there is never like there's a hopeless situation with respect to Krishna. When we come to Krishna consciousness, never a situation like that. Whatever it is, there is always a progress, irrespective of my shortcoming, irrespective of my imperfections, irrespective of my limited understanding, limited capacity, ability, whatever it is. It is never a hopeless situation, unlike in the material world. Material world, everywhere people are looking for, what is unique about, what is the unique that you want to offer me? all these things they say. But Krishna, he says, whatever you are doing, you can move up in the devotional stage. And then the last section, right? The last section is, what are the qualities that one has to have to be dear to Krishna. So actually, if we thought the previous section, that is shlokas from 8 to 12, was little difficult to comprehend and practice, it looks impossible. Now this section looks all the more impossible, right? See, because especially in the current scenario, the way everyone, scratch my back, I scratch your back, everybody is out to outdo the other and then become the best and things like that. That is how we are being cultivated in this day-to-day life. But what is Krishna saying? In the 13th shloka, 13 and 14 shloka, he says, Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitre karunevacha nirmamo nirhankara nirmamo nirhankara samadukka sukakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma druda nischaya mayarpita manobuddhir yo mad bhakta same priyaha. This is one who is not envious, but not just not being envious. Okay. We say with great difficulty we brought ourselves to a neutral platform. In the sense, if somebody is more successful than me, I'm not jealous. Or somebody is lower than me, I don't try to misuse them. I mean, generally this is what happens in our day-to-day life. Okay, say I brought myself to a neutral platform, but next he says, Maitra Karuna Evacha. He says, you have to be friend with everybody, okay? And then free from false ego, not think of oneself as a proprietor, and both equal in happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, a devotee of mine is very dear to me. Very, very tall order. It looks like a very tall order. If we compare, if we are trying to understand these concepts with our regular day-to-day life, then it looks like an impossible or is it truly going to happen kind of scenario. But if we understand the knowledge that I am not the body, I am the soul, right? On that platform, all this is possible. Not being envious, being friendly to everybody. Okay. See, if I have to quickly give an understanding of this, why is it that we become envious? Mostly we become envious because if somebody has more than us, it can be wealth, it can be fame, it can be position, whatever it is, right? And then so they have it, I don't have it. So to be non-envious, the expectation is everybody should have the same opportunity or same wealth or same position, right? But we should, what knowledge teaches us is, on the platform of the body, based on our karmas, based on our previous activities, it can never be the same. Now, I have sown a neem seed and I want a mango fruit, which is not going to happen. If I've sown a neem seed, I will get a neem tree or neem leaf only. If I want a mango fruit, I have to sow a mango seed, right? So somebody has sown a mango seed, somebody has sown an apple seed, somebody has sown an banana plant, whatever, right? Accordingly, the fruits are given. So it cannot be equal. So that is one acceptance, one thing that knowledge teaches us. Now, it can be a little depressing. Is this how it is going to be? No. On the platform of the soul, right? on the platform of service for Krishna, everybody's soul, a soul in a murderer, a soul in a saint, a soul in a tiger, a soul in an elephant, in the bird, in the microbe, the soul is same because it is part of Krishna. It is the same part of Krishna. The soul is same, pure. Everybody's soul is pure. It is the same. And all the souls have equal opportunity to serve Krishna. It has an equal opportunity. So on the platform of soul, if we understand this, then this aspect of non-enviousness can be understood and then practiced also. And then how Maitra Karuna Evacha, how can we be friendly to everybody? Now, if among the siblings, right? I mean, the siblings, they will like each other more than, what they like, I mean, among friends and other things. The brothers and sisters, okay, the bond, the love, the care, everything is a little more. Why? Because we are coming from the same parents, right? That is the concept. So that, likewise, if I understand, everybody's soul is coming from Krishna. All our souls are coming from Krishna. That means we are all brothers and sisters. So there is no question of not liking somebody. I will be friendly, or I will take care like how I take care of my siblings in the material aspect, the bodily aspect, right? The soul is also, on the soul perspective, we are all brothers and sisters, are related to each other, whatever way we want to call. So obviously I can be friendly to all, right? So so when this comes, automatically santushta. What is santushta? I will be self-satisfied. I mean, I will be santushta, satisfied, and always. And then I will always think of trying to do devotional service to Krishna. So quickly I touched upon this. In the detailed version, you can there can be more interactions and more detailed explanation, and then there'll be question answers and then clarifications and all that. So because I wanted to leave that with this note, because I didn't want to say, I didn't want it to look like, how can it be possible? Is it impossible? Right? So it is not, it is not possible on the bodily platform, but it is definitely possible on the soul platform. Right? So with that, the next shloka, right? This is one shloka which of Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, I mean, how a devotee thinks, but maybe not very relevant now. So the next shloka looks even more difficult. It says, Yasman no dvijate loko, loka no dvijate che, harshamasha bhayodveger mukto. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me. About what a tall thing. There's nobody, because of me, nobody is disturbed, nor am I disturbed by anybody. Right? This though really looks impossible, right? But then again, if we try to think of it from the soul perspective, anything in the material aspect, it does not disturb the soul. I mean, the soul is not contaminated, it is not in distress or happiness because of the material aspects. So going back to that same concept, then this is possible, right? And also here Prahlad Maharaj, I mean, they're showing here Prahlad. Why? Because he has no time for feeling distressed or happiness, because always in devotional service, always thinking of Krishna. So and then the next says, devotee who is not dependent on ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert without cares, free from all pains, who does not strive for some result, is very dear to me. Okay, he just does his work, but is not strive for any result, and not dependent on ordinary course of activities. See, any ordinary course of activities is temporary and has its limitations. So the dependence of a devotee is always on Krishna. And the next is Yona Hrishiti Nadveshti, one who neither laments or neither rejoices during various situations of life, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things is very dear to me. Why renounce is auspicious also? Because in the material world, there is nothing called auspicious. Material world, the scripture says there is pure misery. In the material world, there is pure misery and there is mixed happiness. Okay? Pure happiness is only in the spiritual. As long as the body is there, okay, one may have umpteen, immense riches, immense power, immense position. But the body, as long as the body is there, bhade or trouble is there. So there's nothing like auspiciousness in the material world. So one who neither rejoices nor laments for the various situations, because anyway it is temporary. That is what he says in second chapter 14 shloka also. Matra sparshastu konteya shita ushna sukha dukkada agama apayino nityas tam stitikshasva bharata. He says the happiness and distress come and go like the seasons in this. So learn to tolerate. Titikshasva, he says, learn to tolerate the ups and downs of life, right? And then the last but two shlokas of this, he says, Samo shatrocha mitrecha tada manapaman. One who is equipoised when to friends and enemies. He's equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness, distress, fame and infamy, and is always free from contaminating association, and is silent and satisfied with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in my knowledge, who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. See, Krishna is actually trying to tell here, don't endeavor to base our happiness on these temporary material things, because they are temporary. And it is limited. So as long as we are depending on these temporary limited things, we will, go up and down like a sinusoidal curve, right? But if we are fixing ourselves on the permanent aspect, Krishna is, Anandamayo Abhyasat. He's a storehouse, or he's a storehouse of happiness. So if we fix ourselves on Krishna, then there is no question of this up and down, right? So he says, such a person who is very dear to me, who, when there is good or bad, whether one is honored or dishonored, whether one is cold or heat, in distress or fame, or happiness, he is equipoised. Such a person is very dear to me. And then in the last shloka, he says, Tiva me priya. So, who is very dear to me, Krishna says, those who follow imperishable path of devotional service, who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. Right? So it may seem like a very, somebody who is very, what to say, proud. Everything Krishna is saying, you focus on me. But if we understand, we are always striving to look at things or achieve things, do things for what? Mostly for being happy and stay happy, right? So with whatever little experiences in our life, we would have experienced that anything that gives us happiness is it doesn't last for long. Although our desire is that we want it to last for eternity, right? If we want it to last for long, it doesn't last for long. It lasts for a very limited period, right? Because of the temporary nature of this material world and the material body. So Krishna is saying, it doesn't make a difference for him whether we are, following this or not following this. But it definitely makes a difference for us. Like it says, whether we worship him, what difference does it make? Because there are thousands and thousands of Lakshmi, millions of Lakshmi Devi who is worshipping Krishna, right? So, and with such choicest of words and in very good poetry and in all these things, there are many devatas and many sages who are worshipping Krishna. So the difference is happens by worshipping Krishna is for us, right? And of course, he is concerned that we worship him, and then come to that eternal platform, right? So, concluding the section of Bhakti Yoga in these 6 chapters, Krishna is saying how any type of endeavor, any type of worship, whether it be 100%, 10%, 5%, 1%, 2%, okay, Krishna keeps a note of it. He recognizes it, and it is there eternally with us. And then, if we have to reach that platform and then stay in that platform, Krishna is saying, what are the qualities that we have to have to qualify? If I have to have certain things to go to any foreign country, the visa stamping has to happen. I have to have this, right? So if we have to move ourselves from the temporary aspect to the permanent aspect, what are the qualities that we have to have is what Krishna is describing here. And unlike in the material world, we are told time and again, you have to do your work and then endeavor yourself, work hard and then achieve. Unlike that, in every step, every endeavor that we do, Krishna is always with us. How is he always with us? As Paramatma is always with us. He's always guiding us. But we are choosing whether we want the guidance of the Paramatma or we want the guidance of our mind, or like-minded people who are equally equally immature in the aspect of this knowledge. So, with that note, I would like to conclude here and about today's session, and thanking all of you for giving me an opportunity to speak about this 3 chapters, which is actually a little difficult in the sense there's so much to speak, there's so much to say in one sense, and having my own limitations as a seva to my guru, I just took it up. And really thank all of you for the patient hearing and seek all your prayers for and forgiveness for my limitations. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Happy continuing with the other chapters, and then really request all of you to please join for the detailed version. If you have liked this, you will fall in love with the detailed version. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this wonderful session.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಜಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದ್ಯಾವ್ದು 17 ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಜಿ. 16. ಓ ಅದರದು.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಕಾಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಾತಾಜಿ, ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಾತಾಜಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಮನೇಲಿ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರಂತ.
ಹೌದಾ? ಆಯ್ತು,
ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಆಯ್ತು. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಾತಾಜಿ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ? ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಾತಾಜಿ, ಇದೆ ಮಾತಾಜಿ, ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಮಾತಾಜಿ, ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಹಾ, ಸರಿ ಸರಿ.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಯಾರೋ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಮನೇಲಿ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನೋ ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಲಸ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅವನು ಪೇಂಟ್ರ್, ಅವನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದೇನೋ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಬಿಟ್ ಬರಕ್ ನಮ್ ಪ್ರಭುನು ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಬಂದೆ 2 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಬುಕ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ.
अपि स्वीकर्ण्ये च निजात्मदैव मनन्यावृता समनुव्रता ये हृदीकसत्यात्मज चारुदेष्णा गदादयः स्वस्ते चरन्ति सौम्या.
ಮತ್ತಜಿ ಬುಕ್ ನನಗೆಲ್ಲೋ ಮಿಸ್ ಇದಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಯಾರು ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾನು ಅದ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಎಷ್ಟನೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಮಾತಾಜಿ? ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
35 ಅಲ್ವಾ ಮಾತಾಜಿ?
37 ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾ 36 ಆಗಿತ್ತು, 37 ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು.
37. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಪ್ರೇಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ನಮಸ್ಕೃತ್ಯಂ ನರಂ ಚೈವ ನರೋತ್ತಮಂ ದೇವೀಂ ಸರಸ್ವತಿಂ ವ್ಯಾಸಂ ತತೋ ಜಯಮುದೀರಯೇತ್. ನಷ್ಟಪ್ರಾಯೇಷು ಭದ್ರೇಷು ನಿತ್ಯಂ ಭಾಗವತ ಸೇವಯ. ಭಗವತಿ ಉತ್ತಮ ಶ್ಲೋಕೆ ಭಕ್ತಿರ್ಭವತಿ ನೈಷ್ಟಕಿ. ಮೂಕಂ ಕರೋತಿ ವಾಚಾಲಂ ಪಂಗುರ್ಲಂಘಯತೆ ಗಿರಿಂ. ಯತ್ಕೃಪಾತಮಹಂ ವಂದೇ ಶ್ರೀಗುರುಂ ದೀನತಾರಿಣಂ ಪರಮಾನಂದ ಮಾಧವಂ ಶ್ರೀಚೈತನ್ಯಮೀಶ್ವರಂ. ನಮೋ ವಿಷ್ಣುಪಾದಾಯ ಕೃಷ್ಣಪ್ರೇಷ್ಠಾಯ ಶ್ರೀಮಜ್ಜಪಿತಾಕ ಸ್ವಾಮಿನಾಮನಿ. ನಮೋ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಪದಾಯ ನಿತ್ಯಾಯ ಕುರುಪತೇನೆ ಗುರುಗತಧಾಮೇ ಗುರುಗ್ರಾಮತಾಣೆ. ನಮೋ ವಿಷ್ಣುಪಾದಾಯ ಕೃಷ್ಣಪ್ರೇಷ್ಠಾಯ ಭೂತಲೆ ಶ್ರೀಮತೆ ಭಕ್ತಿ ವೇದಾಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿತಿ ನಾಮ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ದೇವಿ ಗೌರವಣ ಪ್ರಚಾರಣೆ.